For over a century, the warrior at sea has faced one terror greater than any other. Lurking deep beneath the waves, ready to strike without warning, meet the original stealth weapon, the submarine. In Germany, one name is associated with undersea warfare more than any other in the world, the U-boat. And here in Eckernfurt, on the edge of the Baltic Sea, I'm on my way to board the very first of a brand new class of U-boat, a design that pushes the concept of stealth to the absolute maximum.
During development, these technologies are always kept secret. But this amazing vessel has now been commissioned, and Germany's Ministry of Defense has given me first-time, all-exclusive access to the world's quietest submarine.
Delta Hotel Juliet 58, this is Delta Romeo Delta Alpha, radio check, over.
The submarine gives you a lot of extra options which no other platform, in my view, can provide.
More than 3 times the size of its predecessor, this undersea assassin massively outperforms the range and diving depth of the Type 206 it will replace without sacrificing the ability to maneuver in the shallow coastal waters.
This ship is able to move like a dolphin. Because we are unseen, we can see things other people can't see.
Is it safe to say this is the quietest submarine on planet Earth?
Well, let me say this. It's the quietest submarine that I know of.
Conventional submarines use diesel generators to charge banks of batteries, but running on these alone uses up their power in a matter of days. To recharge, the submarine has to snorkel near the surface where the generator's heat and noise can be easily detected.
On this ship, they've done everything they can to make the diesel generator as quiet as possible. They've suspended it from plastic mounts to reduce the vibration to the ship's hull. But as you can hear, it's still plenty loud, and there's a heat signature that makes the sub easily identifiable in the water. To be the world's quietest submarine, you need something a little more sophisticated. This may not look like much, but behind these panels are the hydrogen-oxygen fuel cells that give the U-212 its unique stealth capability. There's no heat, there's no sound, and the only byproduct is water.
9 fuel cells combine hydrogen and oxygen stored in tanks on the outside of the submarine's body, producing enough energy to run the massive electrical motor for weeks or recharge the ship's batteries. The presence of hydrogen in such a confined space is potentially explosive. That means the crew has to be ready to react instantly against one of the U-boat's deadliest enemies.
Fires on any seaborne vessel are dangerous, but on submarines, within seconds, they get deadly.
Feueranschiff, Feueranschiff, es brennt der Generator, Feueranschiff! Feuerschein gelöscht.
Dieselkammern zum Schnorcheln.
The risk of explosion is one of the main reasons why early experiments with hydrogen-powered subs were abandoned at the end of World War II. On the 212, there is never more than a small amount of hydrogen actually inside the ship, and the external tanks are designed to explode outwards away from the body. Even so, a team of firefighters is trained to be ready for action in less than 3 minutes. The submarine's cutting-edge propulsion system creates virtually no additional risk from fire, compared to conventional diesel power. What it does do is make the 212 a virtually silent long-range attack platform.
It gives us the advantage to either stay much longer times fully submerged, and therefore as a black hole in the water, undetectable almost, or on the other hand, if you need to, travel at faster speeds for a longer time if you want to go from A to B covertly, quickly, like a nuclear submarine, for instance. With a big advantage of being much more quiet. Nuclear submarines need cooling pumps for the nuclear plant. We don't. We have no moving parts.
Every part of the sub has been designed to prevent it from being detected. The 7-blade propeller slices through the water with maximum efficiency, creating no telltale bubbles or turbulence. And the 3-megawatt electrical motor that drives it is one of the quietest in existence. The smooth body curves are designed to break up enemy sonar. The hull itself is made of anti-magnetic steel to counter the threat of magnetic naval mines. In fact, everything on board is made from amagnetic materials, even the kitchen sink.
We even have a dishwasher on board, another new item, and that's amagnetic too.
While these stealth measures make the 212 virtually invisible, its dolphin-like maneuverability allows it to submerge in as little as 60 feet of water. This means it can operate extremely close to the shoreline without giving itself away.
Our tactical advantage is that our position isn't known. We are invisible. Nobody knows where we are and what we are doing. Nuclear submarine has a bigger size, of course, and they don't die when they have got 20 meters.
Remaining hidden, the 212 can eavesdrop on vital communications, track the movement of any ship or aircraft in the area, and, if necessary, unleash its deadly payload of 12 torpedoes.
Firing a torpedo is not really difficult. You just press a button. Making the decision is difficult, therefore we have to have the right information.
The 212 carries no less than 6 different types of sonar, allowing it to identify individual ships just by their acoustic signatures. This data is combined with existing intelligence to provide a complete 3D picture of the surrounding area.
We can very quickly, usually, find out what type of ship is out there, where is it going, and what is it doing.
Once a ship is identified as a target, it could find itself on the receiving end of an almighty shock. A sophisticated self-guiding torpedo with a high explosive warhead equivalent to almost half a ton of TNT.
It's a lethal weapon that we carry. If you hit a target, everything below, like an aircraft carrier, that would be what we call a unit kill. In other words, the ship would usually sink.
And soon, the 212 will even be equipped to deliver its firepower beyond the confines of the ocean.
We'll have a missile implemented as well that will also be fired through the torpedo tubes. And that missile will enable us to hit targets at sea, targets in the air, for instance, maritime patrol craft if necessary, and also within a certain distance, targets land-based.
But the missiles aren't the only type of weapon the sub can deliver.
Okay, what we have here are the 6 torpedo tubes. And I know it's pretty obvious, their job is to launch torpedoes. What you may not know is they're also used for special operations. What you do is you take one of the Navy SEALs, comp swimmer, and you put them inside here. Now, having been in these places, I'll tell you, it's a really tight fit. And what they do is they close the hatch. Then it's pitch black in there, and you're just hoping everybody gets it right. They equalize the pressure, they flood it, and then boom, you're out into sea. Having done this on American subs, I can tell you, this is serious business.
Imagine an evacuation operation in a country that currently may not be friendly, and you want to take out German, European, US citizens that have to escape the country, and you can't get them out any other way. We can deploy special forces, many of them, with all the equipment, since we have the space for it, very close to the coastline, so they can swim the rest of the way. And like I said, this is a big advantage of a German submarine. They need less equipment, they have shorter ways to the coast, to the shore, to get out these citizens that they have to rescue and then get off again, vanish again with a submarine.
With a range that can take it halfway across the world and a top underwater speed of 20 knots, the 212 is a lethal stealth sub that will dominate the deep.